Welcome back to the Football Tragics. We've got a full crew here today. Premier League's back after a horrible international break. Nobody likes them. I'm your host, Aaron. I'm joined here by Tony, Campo, and Morty as usual. How are we today, lads?
Hello.
Oh, I mean, you say you don't like international break. Italy broke the records. I enjoyed this international break, if I'm being honest.
Well, Spurs are still top of the league.
England.
I don't know how that's happened, but Campo must be on a high for Spurs being top of the league for more than a week. Crazy.
Not after the results or all the injuries that have happened. So,
well, look, it'll probably continue, but we're going to get straight into it. This is the preview of match week 4. Here's the games on screen. If you're listening on audio, I'll read them to you. Palace vs Spurs opening up. Watford Wolves, Brentford Brighton, Arsenal Norwich, United Newcastle, Southampton West Ham, Leicester Man City, Chelsea Villa, Leeds Liverpool, Everton vs Burnley. There's a lot of teams with the same letter playing each other this week. It's interesting, 4 games. Anyway, we're going to get straight into that. Palace vs Spurs, first one, Campo. Talk us through it. Predictions.
1-0 Tottenham. Even though we probably won't have Son or Bergwijn, our defence has been solid to start the season. And I don't see Crystal Palace creating any chances. That
is that 4 1-0s in a row then? If this occurs,
I'm backing it in.
Look, I've gone with the Spurs win as well, but I've gone 3-1 Spurs. I think it's just going to be a bit of a change. I don't know. You will concede, but I think Kane will get off the mark for the season. Get a double probably, and then I think Brian Gill will probably grab one himself. I think with Son not playing, he'll come in. I imagine he would start. It'll be good to see him start, and get amongst the score sheet. Maybe an assist or two. Tony, how are you seeing this one?
Actually, funnily enough, I did write down 1-0, and it was purely for the joke of I wanted to see 4 1-0s in a row. Obviously, Son's a big loss, but obviously they're going to have Harry Kane in the squad. Palace aren't going to create much. We saw that when they played Chelsea, so I'm going to change it to a 2-0. No, you're not 2-1. They're going to concede 2-1 Tottenham.
Campo, do you think Romeo will start?
No, he's in isolation. He's not allowed back in.
Isn't Eric Dyer also injured or something? Is he fit?
No. Yeah, he's fit. It's Ramiro, Lo Celso, and a Brazilian. I can't remember. I don't think it's Emerson. They're not allowed back in the country at the moment.
Beautiful. Morty, thoughts on the game?
Look, I agree with Tony. I think they probably will concede. I think that they've taken their strong defensive against thing, and knowing Tottenham, they look at these games and go, yeah, we've got this in the bag, and this is where they concede. I don't think they're going to lose. I mean, I don't see a way in which Kane doesn't score against that Palace defence, but I still you'll be conceding to Crystal Palace, and someone will be getting the bin in Campo fashion.
It'd be interesting if they how Palace, approach this game. They've had an extra, another week with the internationals, and obviously they haven't hit the heights they would have liked to. But I suppose that 2-2 draw before the international break against West Ham was a show of, I guess, what's to come from them and Patrick Vieira. So if they turn up again like that, I can see them breaking that Spurs defence down. But I don't think they've got.
It's interesting in what you said then, Aaron. Like what we see after the international breaks is these smaller teams do get results, and not to make anyone angry by saying the smaller teams, but you have those big clubs where a majority of their teams are on international breaks. They've played 3 games, so they're going to come back tight.
So you're talking about Arsenal when you mentioned those 4 teams, the lower teams, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Let's just say their best result so far has been a friendly behind closed doors.
I think about that.
Next game anyway.
Brentford, they played behind closed doors, didn't they?
Yeah.
Lost 2-0 and then won 4-0 in a game that didn't matter. Yeah. The Arsenal way. Watford vs Wolves next game. Interesting one, this one. Watford, first game of the season, killed Villa. Wolves obviously haven't played amazing. They've created a fair bit of chances, mostly through Adama Traore, which they can't seem to finish. I've gone with a 1-1. I think Watford look okay. I think Wolves is going to continue to struggle for a little bit. Tony?
I think this is the game Wolves probably start to put those goals away. I've gone 2-0 to Wolves. You play into a lot of things when it's a transfer season. Traore, he was linked with Tottenham. I think now he knows he's going to be there for the year, and I think he'll put one away this week and they'll win 2-0.
Morty, how are you seeing it?
Look, I don't know. Traore is not finishing. Let's start off with that one. It'll be Christmas Day before he fucking finishes one away. Like 400 chances before then, but no, I see Wolves keeping up. They look defensively, they still look okay, and I don't see Watford being able to break that down too much. They haven't shown that they can create many attacking chances. The Wolves probably will scrap something together, so I'm going to go 2-0 as well, like Tony.
Campo.
Well, I was going to go 2-0, but I'll keep it 2-0. I think Wolves they do play really good football under this new manager. I just think it'll be too much for Watford. Wolves haven't got a point yet, or no, they haven't, so they'll be desperate for this one.
Okay. Other couple teams who, I don't know, haven't struggled too much so far. They actually had decent starts to the season. We've got Brentford vs Brighton, another battle of the bees, I suppose. I've gone with 1-0 Brentford. I think Brentford, like I keep saying week in, week out, they're going to do that Sheffield United approach where they try to make their home, their fortress in a way and just play for that one goal. That's all we need to fend for our lives. And Brighton are actually scoring goals this season, but I don't think they're going to score today. So I've gone with a 1-0. I think Ivan Toney gets on the score sheet again, keeps going. Morty, how do you see this one going out?
I think I see it going the other way. I think Brighton, they've looked pretty good going so far, and I mean, going off last year as well. What was it? The attacking chances created or whatever it was on that one.
Expected goals, yep.
Expected goals, that one, yeah. They still look like they can create every chance under the sun, and they've got some signings in, and I expect them to probably go away 2-1.
Campo, thoughts?
2-0 Brighton. A lot of clean sheets for me this week. I think, Brighton do create the more chances. I think Brentford's first loss will sink in and they'll realise they're in the Premier League now.
Tony, you agree? Disagree?
I'm actually going to go the other way. I've actually gone a 1-1 draw. I think, like we spoke about, like you said, they're going to try and make that home their fortress. I think most teams are going to try and do that this year, especially the ones that have come up. I don't see him holding out Brighton. They've got the tall defenders from corners. They've got the strikers who are scoring at the moment. But I do think they'll peg one back, and I'm not going to give it to the guy you said because I took him out of my fantasy team and he started scoring. So anyone but him, and I'll be happy.
It's interesting with these, obviously coming back from these international breaks, because obviously a lot of teams have made signings, but do all these signings play this first week? I know a fair few of these signings would have had time to train with their team, but the likes of Ronaldo's and stuff, I know Ronaldo came back a little early from international break, but there's players that wouldn't get a training in, maybe 1 or 2 sessions before the game if they were on international duty and they signed. So do those players start? Probably not. Do they even feature? Maybe not. But I suppose a lot of these, especially these smaller teams, wouldn't have that issue. Most of their players probably wouldn't be playing internationals, maybe under 21 games, but that's about it. So I think that you might see a few fresh faces in the Premier League, which would be really good to see, especially Brighton's Cucurella at left back if he starts. All right. Massive 6-pointer here, boys. Massive. Biggest relegation scrap of the season so far. Arsenal versus Norwich City. Any Arsenal fan, you're not even going to hate me for that because you know where your team's sitting. Smack down in 20th. As I said, Arsenal versus Norwich. Tony, start us off.
Listen. I think we'll all sit here and happily take the incorrect tip if we come here next week and Norwich has somehow pulled an upset and has beaten Arsenal. I have gone an Arsenal 2-0 win. I think this is a game where it's not going to save Arteta because he's got tougher games coming up, but this is a game where he might get a bit of pressure pulled off him. It's at home. There's not much else to say. Saka is playing well. Like I said, I'll make you a deal. Any Arsenal fan listening, hit the subscribe button. And I'm going to lock in a 3-0 win if you do that. We'll go 3-0. But I need that subscribe button clicked.
Need that first evidence. Morty, do you agree with Tony here? Do you reckon Arsenal get their first points of the season?
I'm in agreement here. I'm going to go a bit higher and go 4-0 to Arsenal. you look at Norwich's defence, and Aubameyang can create a chance off his own. He doesn't need anyone providing him for this. He can score a goal for this one. Like Odegaard, Saka behind. I see them probably bagging one each. Saka, a bit high on confidence at the moment. Odegaard probably looking for that confidence. And this is the game that gives Arsenal fans false hope. And they'll hit rock bottom again the week after. But I'll give them up. They're going 4-0, slight bounce back. No Xhaka in the team either, so it's a positive for him.
Campo, also agreeing?
I agree that they'll get their first point. I can't, after tipping them to beat Brentford and they crap to bed, I can't find myself ever trusting that team again in my life. I'll go 1-1 draw.
I'm going to go with the other two boys. So I'm going to go Arsenal 3-0. I think they finally get this, like Morty said, false hope, I suppose. I'll see it a couple of ways. I see an own goal happening. First one probably. That's the way they're going to score their first goal. Shit. And then I think Aubameyang grabs one, maybe Saka as well. I think, they're going to play some good football. But again, it's against Norwich. And then whoever the verse in the week after. Actually, it's Spurs the week after, isn't it? Which will...
Burnley.
Is it not?
No.
Oh, they'll win that as well. Anyway, we'll get into that.
Reality check.
But I think they're going to get 3 points here. Norwich
I think it is a massive in. There is rumours today that Ben White and is it Thomas Partey have joint training from what I read today. So that's a massive boost back into their line. Obviously, we can't judge Ben White and his price tag just yet. Obviously, the games we've seen, he was terrible. The game we saw, he was terrible. But that's a big inclusion. You bring Partey back into the middle. It's another massive inclusion. So this could be the game where they get the game running and then Tottenham get knocked off in a couple of weeks and we can laugh at Tottenham again.
I just want to ask you this real quick. So if Arsenal somehow lose this game, which is very possible, does Arteta get sacked now? Right now after this game, straight away.
Done.
Awesome. Well, if that happens, we're on a post-match reaction, by the way, lads. I know it's going to be about 2:30 in the morning our time, but we're straight there. Moving on, we've got Man United taking on Newcastle. Cavani, is he fit, Tony?
He is fit.
He won't start because Ronaldo's starting his first minutes of the season. How many is he going to get? Tell me.
I don't agree with you, to be honest. I don't see him starting, to be honest.
Really? He's had plenty of time to train with the squad. What's he got, 3 days in him? Came back?
Yeah, but we all know that we've also got, obviously, we'll talk about this in the future show, but the Champions League is coming back and he's still trying to improve his record there. So
who have you got first round Champions League? Do you know?
I can't say anything too bad because it's young boys, so I can't say anything that's going to get me in trouble if it gets clipped.
It will score a goal. It's young boys.
So it'll be interesting. Like, do you play Ronaldo against Newcastle and rest Cavani and then don't send Ronaldo to the young boys game? I don't know. We've seen when he brought in Varane, he brought in Sancho. They didn't play their first couple of weeks because he wanted them to get a full week's training.
This is Ronaldo.
It is, but
in front of the Old Trafford, like it's a home game to start his tenure as well. So
if he starts, I'm putting him down for a hat trick. If he comes off the bench, he'll get a goal. If he starts, he'll get a hat trick because you know what's going to happen. Every ball's is going to get whipped in. I hope Wan-Bissaka's been crossing for the last 2.5 weeks, waiting for Ronaldo to get into that box, and that's all I want him doing for the rest of the week.
I don't think he's happy if he doesn't start. I think he's a goal getter. He loves goals. He loves records. He wants to start this game, get a couple goals, and show why he can probably get the Golden Boot this year at 36 years old. And he has that much pull. He could probably walk in Ole's office right now and say, "I'm starting on the weekend." Ole go, "Yeah, no worries, mate."
I went 4-0. You know,
4-0,
I'll give you the. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'll give you the Ronaldo's going to start. All right, I'll give you that, and I'll stick with the hat trick, and I'll give the fourth goal to let's go Mason Greenwood.
No, well, I've gone with 4-0 as well. I think he does start. I think he scores maybe only the one goal, but I think Bruno bounces back in good fashion and proves why he, needs to be amongst the team and prove his haters wrong. I think Greenwood scores again. He's been in good form. So, 4-0 result. Morty?
I don't see Ronaldo starting either. Not saying that he couldn't or shouldn't, but
I'd like to change
the way they've already the way that United have already brung in their players this season already. Like they show Varane off at the start of the game. Sancho sat off. They bring him on with 2 minutes to go. I see Ronaldo coming on at half time, getting his standing ovation, bagging 1 goal, and that'd be the game. I don't see him putting it. Yeah, well, I don't see him working out that first half. Like, I see him starting the rest of the season after this, but just it'd be some egotistical way of him going, you know what, I'm coming on, I'm getting my and he'll bag a goal second half.
I think it'll be more egotistical if he does start. I feel like if he can walk into that team and go, Varane, you were bench, Sancho, you were bench. If he walks in, that's more of an ego than him sitting on the bench.
Think about, I know in the day it's football and it's a game, but think of the business side of it. How many tickets, they sell out weekly, but think of the jersey sales, everything about Ronaldo, the marketing. He has to start this game, does he not? First game back at Old Trafford. That's the way I look at it. And I know, again, it's a game. There's tactics involved, but Ole doesn't have those tactics when Ronaldo walks into his office and says, I want to start.
I mean, in saying that, if Sancho isn't fit, he did pick up a knock on international break. I think that ties his hand.
Doing what? On the bench? Doesn't even play international.
I mean, he came back. He's been back for a few days now. He's been back for a few games now. So if he's not fit, you shuffle that lineup. You have Pogba on one side, Greenwood on one side. You probably do have Ronaldo up top. But Saturday morning, 12 a.m.
Okay, and Campo, ran us off. Surely a United win.
Ronaldo's not playing. United 3-1. Greenwood double.
Not playing at all.
Nope.
Could you imagine
he'll be shown off to the crowd.
The people that
no
pay $2,500 to get a ticket and they're not going to play Ronaldo. There will be riots.
He will be shown. It will be like an unveiling again.
But they don't need to do that because he's in training with them. Like he's fit. He's already been announced. Everything's happening. The only reason they did with Varane because they hadn't officially announced it.
I mean, he was back at Carrington yesterday. He got back to Carrington yesterday, so he's out of isolation. He's had to isolate.
Who, Ronaldo?
Ronaldo, he was in isolation.
Yeah, because he came back early from Euros. Not Euros, from internationals. He
accidentally got a yellow card to get himself suspended. I still reckon that
was he suspended? I thought he just came back on purpose.
He took his shirt off when he scored, and it was his yellow card. His 5th yellow card or something.
Yeah, well, he's all-time international goal scorer as well. Make note of that.
Males.
Absolute. All right, yeah. $185 or something for the female. Anyway, he's an absolute freak of nature. We're going to move forward now. Southampton, West Ham, another freak of nature. Mr. Michael Antonio up top. Surely he scores again, lads. What do you got? I'm going to go first. 2-1 West Ham. Antonio double. Southampton, maybe a Ward-Prowse goal. So I don't know. Tony, agree? Surely?
I've gone 3-0 to West Ham. I won't write what I've wrote next to it, but it all leads towards Mikel Antonio scoring another goal. He's hit the ground running, and I think he's going to continue his form. Obviously, the only thing that's going to stop him at the moment with this game is if he gets injured. I see him scoring. I don't see Southampton scoring, so I've gone 3-0.
Can Antonio realistically get the golden boot, do you think?
I don't think he'll stay fit for the whole year, if I'm being honest. We see it every year. He plays a few games and he's injured, then he plays a few games and he's injured, and I think he's too big, and I reckon his calves will end up going. Jot it down. 6:41, 8th of September. He'll have at least one calf injury.
Antonio's calf goes. Morty, what are your thoughts?
I can see 2-3-0 West Ham. Strong defensively. I mean, I don't know if Zuma will start this game or not, but either way, the centre-backs that they put out will be fighting for a position to try and hold on what they can if Zuma comes in. And Southampton have shown that they've scored a lucky goal, and it's a bit of, I don't see him creating much. And defensively, they're still not looking too good either. So 2-3-0.
I don't think Zuma will start. I think he's one of the only players who's come back, joined a new club and actually played internationally. I don't know if he played for France, but he's definitely in the squad. So whether or not he has enough time to accustom himself to that West Ham squad, who knows? Campo, what are your thoughts?
3-0 West Ham. Antonio double.
You hate saying that, though, don't you?
You can't. His personality is infectious, so when he celebrates like an idiot, I kind of like it.
Be interesting to see what he does if he does score and celebrate. He does, make a name for himself he held up a cardboard cutout of himself the other week. That was
you can't
iconic.
hate it. You can't hate that.
No, definitely. He's a football personality. It's good to see. All right, big game here. Leicester City taking on Man City. Morty, how do you see this one going?
Man City need to look for some redemption over Leicester, taking away them. I see it going 3-1 Man City. Vardy probably still gets on the score sheet. City can concede their first goal, but Man City just keep throwing players in the park and put something together. Is KDB fit again yet? I haven't heard anything.
I saw a few Instagram photos of him training, so I'm going to assume he's fit enough. So we'll see.
Yeah, he might throw out again, but probably won't start the game either.
Tony, agreeing?
I did have City for a win. I have them as a 2-1. I think it's a lot closer than what everyone's going to think. I feel like the game City's played the last couple of weeks, they're still they played Arsenal, smashed them. Whoever they played before, smashed them. I feel like they're going to not be ready for the tempo that Leicester's going to start with. They could even find themselves going behind, but they'll peg it back and they'll win 2-1.
So you're not giving them credit for their performances. You're basically saying the teams they played were not up to scratch.
I think if we look at Arsenal in their first 3 games, we can see that they weren't up to scratch. I think
they did lose the first one. They did lose the Spurs.
I just posed the questions for you. I didn't claim anything. Campo, how do you see it?
4-1 Man City, and I think they'll run right again. I think Ferran Torres will keep his form up, and Jesus out on right wing. I like him out there. He's quick and agile, so I think he'll turn it up again.
Is he not in isolation?
I don't think he went. I don't think he even went. I think he was one of the players that couldn't go. So obviously
he'd still be suspended, wouldn't he? He would have been suspended from the Olympics when he copped the red card. He got it in the semi-final.
That wasn't in the final, though.
That was in the semi. He got 3 weeks. It was a straight red.
But I do think he was one of the players that didn't go because obviously that Brazil, for anybody who doesn't know that Brazil-Argentina saga, number of players apparently lied on their bloody passports or something to get into the country to play the international.
I don't know if they lied or not. But,
Someone did something. We don't know. I'm not a transit officer. But I do think Jesus is one of the players that didn't actually go. I've gone with a 2-0 City win. I think comfortable. I think they kind of peg Leicester completely back and don't allow them to play football at all. They do obviously need to get revenge back for the Community Shield game. So I've gone with the 2-0. I think they'll create plenty of chances and just score the 1 or 2. If KDB plays, he'll get amongst it no matter what. And I think maybe Grealish again, because I think he still has obviously a point to prove. He's got a big price tag over him and he needs to perform week in, week out. So that's the way I see that one going.
Just a quick look. Edison and Gabriel Jesus could find themselves in trouble. So Jesus did travel.
Right. We'll just scrap whatever I just said there.
It's the ban from FIFA from the clubs not allowing him to play, to travel or something.
Okay, there you
It's the same problem for Firmino and Fabinho at the moment.
So they can
go.
play.
So
They can play. They can play this game.
No, the EPL put their foot in it, but FIFA still can have their say over the Premier League or something. It's a whole lot of red tape. We'll see.
Yeah, this COVID situation's a nightmare, especially with the AFCON coming up, Cup of Nations. That'll be interesting to see how that folds out. But moving into the late game for us, 2:30 a.m. Chelsea Villa. I'll be up for it, no matter what. I'll probably be having a squeeze in an Arsenal fan TV reaction there. A nice loss, but I've gone with a comfortable 2-0 Chelsea win. I think our defence is just too solid right now. No Reece James got a red card against Liverpool, but yeah, I think it's just going to be too comfortable for us. I know Villa are this fresh team with the likes of Danny Ings, but Emi Buendia won't be there. He obviously wouldn't be able to play. The keeper's missing as well, so they're going to be playing Jed Stir, which speaks for itself. He's average. I think we're just going to roll on pretty comfortably. I don't know if Lukaku's fit. Apparently, he might have picked up a little injury. It'd be interesting to see that one. However, as I said earlier, Timo Werner's back-to-back goals international, so maybe his confidence is back. We don't know. I'm going to say it's back. Hopefully for my fantasy team it is, for my draft team. 2-0. If Werner plays, he gets a goal. If he doesn't, Lukaku scores. Comfortable.
Big call. It's a big
call.
I'm going to say 2-1 Chelsea. It's hard to stop Danny Ings when he's in the mood for a goal. But Chelsea will get it done, like they always do.
Morty?
Yeah, I don't see Villa creating much at all this game, and their only one shining hope of keeping the goals tally down was Emi Martinez in goal, and he won't be there. So I think Lukaku starts 4-0. If Werner starts, 1-0.
The insult. Tony, you going to round us off with a Chelsea win?
I don't like how in sync me and Morty are today because I've actually put down a 4-0 Chelsea result on the same basis that Martinez is their saving grace and he's not there. So 4-0 Chelsea. Don't really care who scores, but if Lukaku can score and Jorginho for my fantasy team, I'll be very happy.
The only way Jorginho usually scores these days is penalties, and we know he missed a penalty recently against Switzerland, Tony. He's been found out. So does he still take him? Probably, we don't know. Might have to adapt.
An interesting one.
Maybe just go with a rocket down the middle. That'll be interesting to see.
Panika. Just Panika him.
Panika, God. Moving into the penultimate game. This one was an absolute cracker at the beginning of last season. Leeds versus Liverpool. Ellen Rowe will be absolutely up for this one. I wouldn't want to be travelling to the ground purely because the amount of fights and hooligans that will be about would be mental. Morty, thoughts on the game? Easy win? Hard win?
I never say an easy win against Leeds. You can put a result on them, but they make you work for it. And one slip up, they know how to find the back of the net. I'm not sure if Rafinha, I'm fairly sure he travelled, so he might be out as well. He was one of the ones that might have been let go. And yeah, look, Van Dijk's, he went down for the Netherlands after their fight.
He's fine apparently.
He's fine. It's all a bit uproar. He probably will start. And yeah, other than that, Liverpool, I'm going to say 4-0.
4-0. You just said not a comfortable win, but it's going to be 4-0.
No. Yeah, but, pre-Van Dijk, a slip-up would make us concede, but we'll be fit and firing.
All right, so it's a comfortable 4-0 win. Let's go with that.
An uncomfortable 4-0.
Uncomfortable 4-0.
It'll be uncomfortable until the second half. Yeah, right.
I would love an uncomfortable 4-0 win, I'll tell you what.
I'll take it every week.
Tony, when you did mention uncomfortable, I know you smiled because United love an uncomfortable result against Leeds, obviously. Put it into the sword. How do you see them playing Liverpool?
I do see Liverpool conceding. I have put down a 4-2 result in Liverpool's favour. Purely, you've got Robertson, you've got Alexander-Arnold. They like to get forward, and we know the speed that Leeds do have on that counter. You chuck Daniel James into the mix if he does play. And I think they're going to have – they'll get at least one counter, and I think they will get a second purely as a consolation at the end of the game. I think they've just got too much speed on the counter, too much – I don't know. Leeds are a team that they'll cop 4 goals just to drag them in a little bit, just so they can score 1 goal and celebrate. So I'm going to go 4-2.
You mentioned Trent Alexander-Arnold. Played in midfield for Southgate at the weekend for England. Decent performance. I think, he created I think he created 2 or 3 chances. Do you ever think he'll play there, Morty, for Klopp? Or
it's a hard sell considering we don't have a out now right back fighting for his position.
Milner would be your cover, wouldn't it? And that's not. He's also that makeshift.
I mean, Canate can play right back.
Who replaced Robertson when he was out? Surely he could just go play on the other side.
Tsimikas. Yeah, but
surely
he's a heavy left-footed. He's right and left-footed.
Yeah, he's a heavy left-footed.
Even better, cut in and have a shot.
It'd be interesting though because Trent
he likes the deep run cross.
Trent did play midfield a lot of his youth days, so it'd be really cool to see him go in there. But I just don't. I don't think you guys have the cover for it, unfortunately. Campo, how do you see this game going?
3-2 Liverpool.
High scoring.
Short sweet.
Nice.
I'll say Salah scores somehow. Some dive.
He always does. He always does score.
That's all I'll say.
I've gone with a 3-1 Liverpool win. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. They won't be able to stop Leeds completely. I think Leeds will create a fair few chances, but Liverpool's just too good in the end. I think Salah will continue. Harvey Elliott might actually get a goal, I reckon, this week, because why not? But, moving on to the final game of the round, Everton-Burnley. Everton, pretty good so far. Pretty good. Burnley, not too bad themselves, I suppose. I've gone with a 2-0 Everton. I think it's not going to be the most challenging game. I think Benitez will outclass Sean Dyche here, and Calvert Lewin will score. Tony?
Well, I did have 2-0, but I'm not liking all these same results. I'm gonna go 2-1, and Chris Wood is going to score the ugliest goal we've seen in a purely Burnley fashion.
Love it.
Yeah, Everton to get the job done. They're playing good football. They're on a high at the moment, and they'll continue at least for another week.
Campo?
2-0 Everton.
Lovely. And Morty, round us off.
Let's go 1-0 Everton then.
I think a lot of us are in agreement this week, so I'm interested to see how the results pan out. Massive week of football. Ronaldo is back in the Prem. We're keen for that to see that unfold. We're keen to see Arsenal collapse like they do. And there's just massive games around the ground. So we've been the Football Tracks. We'll see you again over the weekend. And peace.